If you are under the belief that they didn't borrow heavily from the Hunger Games to make this story, this cover right here should make you a believer. My name is Dorian. This is SEO Comics. We are covering the complete Avengers Arena series. Today we are doing Avengers Arena number 3. And it starts off with Cammy. That's the girl that held the gun to Rictor's head, pretty much telling her to keep it pushing. Oh, she's back in her tree. And she either has some really cool contacts or she has some robotic eyes, because she's able to see all the different camps where people have huddled up and try to, survive this ordeal that they're going through right now. And then on the next page, you have a kid that's working on a Sentinel. The Sentinel says, "Hello, Justin." So I believe that's Justin Seifert. And I don't think he has any superpowers. He's just really good at mechanics, and that Sentinel's like his buddy. But as soon as he gets it online, it says hostile enemy approaching. So then on the next page, Justin's shining a light and he goes, "Show yourself." And then he goes, "Oh, you shouldn't really sneak up on a guy that has a Sentinel." So he's acting like he knows the guy, and then Cammy's trying to get a better look because I guess she can't quite see who the person is. So she jumps in another tree. Next thing you know, the Sentinel is flying at her, and it takes everything in her power just to get out the way. Now, does that mean Justin is a hashtag? I mean, I would assume so, because his Sentinel definitely went flying like a mile in the other direction, but technically you don't see his body, so we don't know. And Cammy did not come out of that unscathed, because she hit the ground pretty hard, and when she gets up, her nose is bleeding. So she barely has a chance to get to her feet when she sees a red light, and she admits to herself, if that's what did that to that Sentinel, I am not ready for that firepower. So she starts running. So whatever it is trying to hunt her down, and I guess she got far enough away to where she can ambush it. She jumps out of nowhere, yells "died," and starts blasting at him, but he has a force field. She falls on the ground. She's still capping at him. And then finally he goes, "That was impressive." So on the next page, we're in a flashback, and we're at the headquarters of SWORD, which stands for the Sentient World Observation and Response Department. Rob knows that kind of stuff off the top of his head. Me, I had to look it up. And since we're on the subject of doing acronyms, how many of you guys know what SHIELD stands for? Well, if you don't know,
you're gonna learn today.
I'm Agent Phil Coulson with the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division.
That's quite a mouthful.
I know. We're working on it.
But alas, that was for the MCU. In Marvel Comics, SHIELD stands for Strategic Hazard Intervention Espionage Logistic Directorate. I know, Phil's was better. Anyway, we have Special Agent Abigail Brand, who leads SWORD. Now, for those that are reading the current run of X-Men, I know how Abigail's acting right now. Take that out of there. In this, she's not acting like that, and she's normal Abigail Brand. Now, obviously, I just brought up the current run of X-Men, so Abigail Brand is a mutant. Her mutant power is she can understand and speak any language in the whole universe. So yes, she is the perfect person to be in charge of something that is monitoring space, because like I said, she's not trying to take over the universe in this, but she's still somewhat of a. She goes, "My men say that you're not real talkative." That's fine, because I love to listen to myself. So then she goes, "My men have tested your DNA, and it turns out you're not a mutant or a cyborg. You're not radioactive. You're not possessed, supercharged, or artificially enhanced in any way. You are just a very average 13-year-old human girl named Cammy." Then she goes, "I had my money on you being a pygmy badoon in a tweeny skin suit," which now makes it real hard to explain all the stuff you've got into. So then they show her stealing fuel from a Shi'ar warship, and the people that were with her, I guess, bailed on her, so she got left behind. And Abigail's like, "You're just lucky SWORD showed up and arrested you instead of the Shi'ar. Otherwise, you'll be on some prison planet wishing you were dead." And it just don't stop there. Then they show her with Drax the Destroyer, Nova, Richard Rider Nova, and Star-Lord, Peter Quill, and she's right with him during Annihilation. Now, yes, We are definitely going to cover Annihilation on this channel because that is a fantastic story. And she has one moment of weakness where she's looking at the screen and she goes, Drax. So on the next page, the flashback is over with and we're at present day again. And she goes, "You're Chris Powell, Darkhawk." And he goes, "Yeah, but aren't you worried about?" And then she goes, "Look, I've come across that armor before. I've been blasted with it once. It's obviously set on stun." So he transformed out of his armor and pretty much explained to her how he's trying to get things figured out so that nobody else around here gets hurt. So he pretty much starts to explain how he's trying to figure out what did that Sentinel in. And there are two sets of tracks and there's only one of him, so he wants her to follow the other set of tracks. So she's following the other tracks that leads deeper into the snow, and she's walking, and then she come across this heat signature that's in the snow. And all of a sudden X-23 pops out of nowhere. Cammy tries to shoot, but X-23 is too fast and hits her in the face, and then pops her claws, looks at her, and she sniffs her and she goes, "Not the right scent." And then she apologizes as she runs off. So then we do a flashback back to Sword, and Abigail's pretty much letting her know that she is wanted in 7 different star systems. She's like, "You can do 6 cycles in a Badoon labor camp." She's like, "We can donate your body to the Creed. That's a 3-year program." She goes, "Shi'ar? Ooh, no, that's a bad one." And then she goes, "Or we can just send you back home with a full pardon since we're an Earth-based entity." And Cammy goes, no, I'll talk. Just don't send me back home." And Abigail goes, "So you're trying to tell me you rather deal with alien torture than go back home?" And Cammy's like, "Yes, because if I go back home, I'm just," and that's the end of the flashback. So obviously her nose is bleeding from the encounter with X-23, and she just goes, "Stupid, weak, and slow. Silly little girl. Don't deserve any respect." And she just starts blasting in the air. So then she takes off all of her gear and she's doing knuckle push-ups in the snow, just saying to herself, "Stupid, weak, slow." And then Apex and Deathlock show up, and Apex is kind of looking and she goes, "You know what? I've seen enough." So then it cuts to Darkhawk and he's following the other set of tracks. And he come across something and his armor just activates into like full battle mode, and then something just comes out, picks him up, and then it sends like this spear, this chain thing right through his chest, and Darkhawk is now a hashtag. So we don't know if Sentinel Boy is dead, but Darkhawk, oh yeah, he looks dead.